Hello students, in continuation with our case studies series, today we'll discuss case study questions on current electricity. In our previous discussions, we have started with why case studies questions are there in the syllabus, how these questions should be tackled, and what is the proper way to answer case studies questions, and also what are some tips and tricks to do case studies questions. And these tips and tricks are basically the one which can save your time and also it can give you more accuracy. After the first discussion, we have taken electrostatics and we have discussed the different case studies questions on electrostatics. In that sequence, today we are taking current electricity. Let's continue our discussion on few more case studies questions on current electricity. In this case studies, it is given a small industries service institute, Techyalpat Industrial State, Imphal has designed an toaster which is operated at 220 volt AC, single phase and available in 4 different rated capacity such as 600 watt, 750 watt, 1000 watt and 1250 watt. The heating element is made of nichrome 80-20, 80% nickel and 20% chromium. Since nichrome does not get oxidized readily at high temperature and has a high resistivity, so it produces more heat. The element is owned separately at mica sheet and fitted with body of toaster with the help of ceramic terminals. So this is the passage given. The first question is heating element of the toaster is made of the different option which is given. If you look at this particular passage, it is said that heating element is made of nichrome. So obviously here if I consider the different options, then nichrome is there. So this is the correct option here. So copper is not there, nichrome is already mentioned there, so it is the correct option. What is meant by 80-20 nichrome? This one is also mentioned there in the passage. Here, if you see, it is 80-20, that is 80% nickel and 20% chromium. So for this, again, if you consider, then the different option which is given, 80% chromium, 20% nickel, it is wrong. It is just opposite, 80% nickel and 20% chromium. So B is the correct option, purely 80 and impurity 20. It is just the different option which is given. Correct one is the 80% nickel and 20% chromium. Next is there, which one will consume more electricity? Now remember, if the wattage is more, and what is this power? It is the amount of energy consumed per unit time there. So if the wattage is more, obviously the power consumption will be more or electricity consumed will be more there. So if you see the different option, 600 watt, 750 watt, 1000 watt and 1200 watt. So obviously the fourth one is the correct option here. So the fourth one will be the correct one. Let's take next question. The operating voltage of the device. Now again, here this also is mentioned there in the passage. It is mentioned that toaster which is operated at 220 volt AC single phase. So obviously this is the correct option there. We'll look for this one. So 220 volt AC single phase. The first one is the correct one. This is 3-phase 220 DC, 220 volt AC DC. So obviously the first one is the correct option here. Let's now take the next one. Insulating material used in the device are mica, ceramic, nichrome, mica and ceramic. Remember, insulating material is asked. And insulating material mentioned in the passage is mica and ceramic. So in that case, the fourth one is the correct one. Nichrome is also there, but it is being used for heating that element. So it is not for the insulating one. So obviously the fourth one will be the correct option. Let's now take next case study. In 1942, a German physicist Kirchhoff extended Ohm's law to complicated circuit and gave two laws which enable us to determine current in any part of such a circuit. According to Kirchhoff's first rule, the algebraic sum of the current meeting at a junction in a closed circuit is 0. The current flowing in a conductor towards the junction is taken positive and the current flowing away from the junction is taken negative. According to Kirchhoff's second rule, in a closed loop, the algebraic sum of the EMF and the algebraic sum of the product of current and resistance in the various arms of the closed loop is 0. While traversing a loop, if negative pole of the cell is encountered first, then the EMF is negative, otherwise positive. So here, details of the Kirchhoff's rules are mentioned here. And now let's see the different questions given on this particular passage. The first one is Kirchhoff's first rule follows. Kirchhoff's first rule is based on law of conservation of charge. When it is saying that algebraic sum of the current meeting at a point is 0, or in other statement you can say that sum of the incoming current is equal to sum of outgoing current. So this is because it is obeying law of conservation of charge. So obviously the first here, if you see the second one, law of conservation of charge is there. This is the correct option. First one is law of conservation of energy. This is wrong. Law of conservation of momentum is wrong. Newton's third law is wrong. So obviously second one is the correct option. Now let's see now this next question. In this particular diagram, the value of the current I in the given circuit has been asked. Now, if you look at this diagram, this is the particular point O. Okay, that is a junction I can take. Now see what is the incoming current. It is 4 ampere going towards the junction, 2 ampere going towards the junction. 3 and 5 are leaving out, whereas the I is going towards the junction. So it means if I take incoming current as positive, so I plus 4 plus 2. This is the sum of the incoming current. The outgoing current, it is 5 plus 3. So here I will be equals to, this is your 8 and this is your 6. So it is your 2. So that means the first one is wrong, second wrong, third one is the correct one. So this is the correct option for this particular question. Now let's take the next question. The potential difference between A and B in the circuit given here. Now you see, we have a cell of 6 volt here and 4 volt, and two resistances are there, 2 ohm and 8 ohm. So if I take, suppose the current in the circuit, if I take the current as I here, in that case, the net EMF of this one, if you take, or you can apply Kirchhoff's loop rule also, summation IR plus summation E equals to 0. So here if I consider for this cell, if I'm taking, suppose when we are moving from negative to positive terminal and we take rise in potential positive, in that case this one will be taken here as positive. So it is 6 volt here. In the passage it was given from when we encountered negative terminal of the cell first, then it is taken as negative. We are taking just opposite there. So it is here, it is your 6, and now if you go for this one, it is your 8 ohm. We are going in the direction of current, so it is your minus 8I. Then it is your cell positive to negative, so in that case it is negative, and this is 2 ohm, again it is your minus 2I. This is 0. So now here if you consider, it is your 2 equals to 10I or I is equals to 0.2 ampere. Now, if I have to take the potential difference between A and B, so for that potential difference between A and B, if I take VAB, suppose we are going from point A to point B, in that case we are going from negative to positive terminal of the cell, so it is your 4 plus then it is your, we are going in this particular direction, and here current is flowing in opposite direction there. So in that case, the potential difference of this resistance will be positive. So in that case, it is your plus 8 into 0.2. So it is your 4 plus 1.6. That means 5.6 volt. So if you look at the different option, the second one is 5.6. So this is the correct one. You can take across this arm also. If I take from point A to point B, this is alternatively, we can take it as minus 2 into 0.2, because now you are going in the direction of current, and cell which is there, you are going from negative to positive terminal. So in that case, it will be taken as positive. We are going in this direction. Okay. So in that case, it is your 6 minus 0.4. Again, it is your 5.6. So this is 5.6 volt. Now let's take the fourth question. Point out the right statement about the validity of the Kirchhoff's junction rule. The current flowing towards the junction are taken as positive. Current flowing away from the junction are taken negative. Bending or reorienting the wire does not change the validity of the Kirchhoff's junction rule. And fourth one is all of the above. Obviously, all these are the correct statement, first one, second one, and also the third one. So the fourth option, which is given all of these or all of the above, so this is the correct one. Let's take now the fifth one. Kirchhoff's second law is based on, options are law of conservation of momentum of electron. Second one is law of conservation of charge and energy. And third one is law of conservation of energy. None of these. First law is based on law of conservation of charge, and second one is based on law of conservation of energy. So in that case, the third one is the correct option. Let's take next case study. An electrical appliance uses a lot of electrical energy when it is operated. For example, geyser, heater, etc. The electrical energy consumed is dependent on the time for which a specific appliance of fixed power rating is used. However, the energy used in hour is denoted as 1 kilowatt hour, which is equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. This is represented as 1 unit. Different electrical appliances have different power consumption, which is mentioned on the device clearly. So this is the detail of the power rating of the appliances there, and the commercial unit of electricity which we take, 1 kilowatt hour, which is your 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule there. A bulb is rated as 60 watt 220 volt. It signifies it consumes 60 joule per second. It consumes 220 volt power per second. It has 60 watt of energy. None of the above. Now, if the power rating is 60 watt and 220 volt, it means when operated at 220 volt, it will consume 60 joule in 1 second. So obviously the first one is the correct one. Second one is given as it consumes 220 volt power per second. So this is wrong. It has 60 watt energy. This is also wrong. 60 watt is there, but that is not energy, it is power. So obviously the first one is the correct option. Next question. Two electrical bulbs P and Q having resistance ratio 1:2 will consume power in the ratio. Different options are given. Now you have a particular bulb and it is being used at a particular voltage when it is being used. In that case, the expression for the power, if you consider, it is your V square by R. So different appliances which are being used at a particular voltage, they have power in inverse ratio of their resistances. So since the resistances are in the ratio 1:2, in that case, the power ratio will be just opposite. That means it will be equal to 2:1. So in that case, the second one will be the correct option. Let's take now the third one. Which of the following does not represent electrical power? The different options which are there, V square by R, this is the correct one. I square R, this is also current. V into I, this is also current. Because the different expressions for power is your V square by R, I square R, or V into I. And the fourth one, which is given as your I square by V, obviously this is wrong. So which does not represent electrical power, that means the fourth one is the correct option for this. Next question. An electric heater consumes 1.5 kilowatt power. If it is used every day for 2 hours, then the electrical energy consumed in January. Now, if you take the energy consumption, it is your kilowatt hour. So it is your 1.5 kilowatt being used there, and it is being used every day for 2 hours. So it is multiplied by 2. So this is your 3. So that means power consumption will be your 3 unit per day. And since it is asked for January, that means if I take suppose number of days here in January, this will be 31. So in that case, the energy consumption will be 3 into 31. So it means 93 units. So here, if you consider the different options, the third one is the correct one, 93 units. Let's take next question. The wires used in heating elements are different than the connecting wires. The connecting wires use copper, but heating elements does not, because copper is expensive. Second one is copper heats very fast. Copper is poor conductor of heat. Copper has low resistivity. So this one is the correct one. Copper is expensive. Remember, you are comparing it with the heating elements there. Why it is not being used in as the heating element. So obviously, their heating element cost, if you take, it will be definitely more. But in fact, the main reason is that the copper has low resistivity, because the heating element, if you are taking, then the heating element should produce large amount of heat. And this will be possible if it has a very high resistivity. So copper has a very low value of resistivity. That is why it is not used as the heating element there. This was our discussion on case studies questions on current electricity. In our next discussion, we'll take case studies questions on magnetic effect of current and magnetism.